like making some serious money. So at the end of
Welcome back to another episode of the Young Startup. Guys, I have a very interesting guest, perfect person in terms of who we're really trying to target. And he's a perfect example of not taking the traditional route and really just expanding and going down the entrepreneurial journey. So Damien Law, thanks for coming onto our podcast. I'll get you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your story, and we'll kind of take it from there.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to do this. But yeah, guys, my name's Damien Law. I'm 21 years old. And just to give you guys a little backstory on how I got into entrepreneurship. So I was living in Hong Kong since I was 15, and I moved here when I was 15. And then my parents wanted me to go to college, and that unfortunately didn't happen. And I started getting into like Amazon FBA when I was 18. So I started my first side hustle business first semester of college. So I kind of dabbled into that, and that went on for about 2 years. And after that, I was getting kind of like sick and tired of it. It was just something that I was not very excited about. So I was looking into an idea that I really wanted to do, and something that would get me out of bed every morning, something I'm passionate about, something that seriously excites me, and it brings me here today. And my new business is called Effing Good Snacks. So that's kind of the 30,000 foot view of everything. But yeah,
we'll dive into everything. Yeah. Cool, man. That's exciting. Yeah. It's crazy story. So just to recap, you lived and grew up in Hong Kong. Your parents shipped you out here.
Yep.
In hopes that you would go to college. You started, but it wasn't for you. So you just went down the entrepreneurial route, and you did Amazon FBA. So cool.
Yeah.
Take us through a little bit about your Amazon journey. I'd love to learn a little bit about, things that you struggled with, why you think it wasn't the right fit for you. Even though you touched on it just a bit there, but yeah, I'd love to learn a little bit more about that portion of your life.
Yeah, for sure. So it wasn't like it wasn't right for me, but it was more so like the idea wasn't like right for me. So I first discovered like Amazon when I was like just browsing through YouTube, and I got hit with an ad, like as most of us do. And like as a young kid, I've always wanted to like do more than just like going to college and then getting like a secure job. I've always wanted to start a business, like be my own boss, do something that I'm passionate about. And then when the idea of like selling stuff online kind of came about, so I took a course like most people. And then, I found about Amazon, launched my first product September 2018. It was a meditation cushion actually. And that got off pretty well. So I started doing that, launched a couple more yoga products. So it's a yoga brand. And then after a while, it just kind of got repetitive for me personally, because I'm someone that needs something that really, really excites me for me to do something. So after that, I just kind of got sick and tired of it. But it was very fun. It definitely introduced me to like entrepreneurship as a whole and self-development, what I need to develop as skills. And yeah, it was definitely like a good first step. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today without it. So definitely.
Yeah, man, I agree. Like Amazon can get stagnant, right? You're only just focusing on the platform. You're looking at the customers. They're bringing you the traffic. Half of the work is done for you. It's definitely, it's definitely a business model, in my opinion, that people do just purely to gain passive income and then get an exit and get a nice chunk of cash. But what it sounds like, it's not something where, you can't really build a massive vision out of. And I can definitely see that unless you scale outwards, get into retail things and like, especially I don't know if you're into yoga back when you started in 2018.
Nope.
Exactly. So it's hard to get passionate about those things, but there's definitely things that you can do to find passion within. And I'm glad that, you learned a lot from that experience. And now you're taking that into this new journey where you're actually passionate about.
Exactly.
Talk to me about, some of the things that you did learn, some of the mistakes. Let's actually ask this. What were some of the mistakes that you made that, you took into your new business now?
So the first thing that comes to mind is picking something that you're actually interested. For me, like you said, I don't do yoga, so I don't know like like the whole yoga niche, like why someone would buy it. I mean, I can look it up, but it's not something that fits into my lifestyle. So I definitely think that if I had to go back to when I was 18, I'd definitely pick something that I was genuinely interested in, genuinely passionate about, something I would want to do for the long term. But I mean, if I didn't start off that way, I don't think I would be where I am today. Cause I see like a lot of people like talk about Amazon businesses instead of just being like a business. But so like I was all in the weeds of how to optimizing Amazon, how to PPC, all that stuff. But that's all great, but it does get kind of boring for a while. But now that I'm taking that knowledge and I want to start like a business that generally serves like a greater purpose in this world with a greater vision, with a greater mission. So I think that's kind of like a mistake, but a blessing in disguise that I had that mistake. Then now I'm shifting over to something else that, I do want to create. So that would be like my biggest advice to someone starting off.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Amazon, even ourselves, we have bigger, better things that are happening now, things that we're visioning more so and building more massive businesses. But Amazon has been a great kickstart for us to learn
100%.
the entrepreneurship lifestyle, bring in the money that we need, bring in more capital to build other better things. So I totally agree with you. You're talking about vision, you're talking about purpose. Let's chat about effing good snacks. Let's chat about what your vision is. I also want to I also want to chat about like what made you think of the idea in the first place, how it kind of stemmed, and what your purpose is for that brand moving forward.
Yeah. So I'll kind of get into like how I came up with the idea. So when COVID started, I started craving like a lot of like comfort and nostalgia, and that at night is when I like really crave junk food. So I'm the type of person who's like very healthy, like very health conscious. And no matter how healthy I eat throughout the day, I'll always want cookies or like brownies or chips at night. I'm sure most of us can like relate to that. So one night when I was just like mindlessly like feeding off some Chips Ahoy, I like caught myself. And at the same time, I was also taking like a lot of supplements for like sleep, like magnesium. So that was kind of like the light bulb moment, was like, why not reimagine like the most popular midnight snacks we crave and incorporate some sleep boosting ingredients. And really the vision of like effing good snacks is to bring like nighttime nutrition to the masses, because we see like a lot of healthy foods like having a makeover. So we see like breakfast, healthy cereal, on the go snacking, but no one's really talking about like late night snacking when it should be like more widely talked about, because it's one of the most important meals a day. And so that's really like the vision, is to make it so easy for people to indulge in their favorite foods without feeling bad about it and incorporate some sleep boosting ingredients. So I'm super excited for this. Like you guys have no idea, but
sounds like it. It sounds like it. That's awesome, man. That's a lot of people have those aha moments for sure. Like it's that's like, wow, I've been waiting for this idea. And I love how you're able to clearly solve a problem, right? Because like I munch on food too at night, and like the other night I was eating pizza.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy?
Have cookies.
You know what's great? Like when I first started researching about the industry, it's like the later it gets, the worse we eat. And like this stems back to surprisingly our caveman days. Because when back in the days, we had to eat a bunch of calories before bed, so that because people wouldn't know when their last meal would come. But now it's like translated, because we have like convenience stores, like junk food, like our nearest reach. So that like survival mechanism is very unhealthy, and that's what we're trying to solve here. So yeah,
you're right. I think I'm your perfect target market, because I have the worst late night snacking, man, and I always have trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
So
what's your go-to?
It's Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar for me, man. Oh,
I'm a sweets guy for sure. Usually chocolate, specifically dairy milk, any kind of milk chocolate, to be honest. I also love cookies. Just like freshly baked cookies. Oh, yeah, man. Oh yeah. I love to hear it. No, that's awesome, man. I think at the end of the day, like a business that solves a problem is a business that has a massive vision, right? Exactly. So you're kind of disrupting the space, which is phenomenal. Is there any competitors in this space that kind of do anything similar to you?
Yeah. So there is one company trying to do something similar, but they focus on like ice cream. They're called Night Food, and they're kind of on the same like vision of what we're trying to do, is to bring like nighttime nutrition to the masses. But other than that, it's just a lot of people focusing on like healthy, better for you options. Whereas where I see Effing Good Snacks, it's positioning itself in a different category than that, nighttime nutrition category versus like just a better for you snack. So
Yeah. Cool. Absolutely. Now, you've been in the business for almost a year now. You're getting close to your anniversary.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
to us about some of the challenges. You know, I can imagine, you know, the development of these actual goods, you know, finding your supplier and manufacturer, things along those lines. You obviously took some of those skills from Amazon into this, which is phenomenal. But I can imagine when it comes to building these, especially trying to build a credible brand when it comes to healthy snacks, you need to be very cautious with the recipe and the ingredients, all that kind of stuff. I'd love to learn more about that.
For sure. So the skills I got from starting an Amazon business, I think accelerated how I ran this business. So for example, I didn't know anything about marketing online before I started my Amazon business. I didn't know anything about looking for what the customer wants, or like building like funnels or that kind of stuff. But when I started this business, I had all those basic skills down. So when I wanted to start that, I knew how to talk to manufacturers. I knew what I wanted. I knew how to like find like little focus groups of customers and where they hang out, and feedback. So I think the biggest trouble that starting a food company is definitely money, number one. And number two would be lead time manufacturing. So yeah, like you said, I started my business September 2020. It's now July 28th, and we just finalized our samples, which is crazy because
Wow.
Our manufacturer told us we would launch like April. So we're already like 4 months behind schedule. So always, I guess like one thing I learned is always like pray for the better and like extend your expectations, because you never know what happened.
Get buffer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, lead time has definitely been a pain in the ass. Wait, can I swear on this or?
Yeah,
you're all good.
Oh, okay.
You will, baby.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but something that I think we've done really well is managing customer expectations. So we started the business in September. We had a basic idea. So what I really wanted to do in the beginning is to build an audience before we actually launch, right? So from the time of September till January 2020, September to January, we built up an email list of about 1,000 people and 1,000 followers. And the way we did that was through mainly Instagram. We post content, follow for follow, like all the Instagram like hacks. And what I would do is I would have Instagram, and then I would have like a landing page, and I would send people from Instagram to a landing page, collect their emails. And what I would do is kind of document the journey of me like building this business and being vulnerable. Like, hey guys, this is our first packaging design. Like, what do you think? Or, hey guys, this is the problem we're working with. Or this just happened. Like an influencer just talked about us. I'm so stoked. So kind of just like sharing every single detail about the business. And when you do that, I found that people love being a part of something that they truly like believe in. People love seeing behind the scenes. And when they're bought into the journey, they're bought into your brand. And that's what we've done super well. Like we haven't even launched, and we've already had people pre-ordering the product, people following our journey, people giving us their lead generation, all that kind of stuff. So I guess lead time has been a pain in the ass, but we've managed to turn that into a blessing, and turn that into a good thing just by communicating, documenting, and just sharing everything. So yeah.
Love that. Creating a little following beforehand. Sounds like you learned that from like Andre. Yeah, he's huge on community, and that's nowadays, especially in like competitive markets. It sounds like you're coming in. There's not a lot of competitors in it, but like having a loyal following and people you can remarket to and you actually provide value to goes a really long way. That's how you create customer lifetime value. That's how you create an actual customer that's going to keep coming back over and over and over again, especially because you have a product that's consumable.
Exactly.
Right? So
and I think that. I think like at the end of the day, a brand, why people buy from a brand is just outsourced trust, right? You buy from Apple because you expect the iPhone to work a certain way. So if you can create that trust from the very beginning, and you do that by just sharing storytelling, telling people to like take an action or creating some sort of emotion. And I find that the best way to do that is just storytelling. People really, really love that. They really want to support you. And that's how we've been able to like launch, like pre-sell kind of our inventory before we actually do launch. So in January 2021, we launched like pre-order. So we use that audience we've built up through Instagram and email, and we sent them to like, we built like a Shopify site, just like with a add to cart button, a checkout button, nothing like fancy. But we just like built that up, be like, hey guys, like we want like, and then the bonus that we did to get people to pre-order was we gave them like a mug. So like cookies with milk, mug kind of made sense. So that was kind of like the bonus to get people to pre-order. So just by like in that short period of time and building that trust, we've got like over like 350 people to pre-order.
Wow.
So, yeah. So
that's phenomenal.
Yeah. So I think definitely like taking the leap of just, pre-selling something, or even like Kickstarter would work, but I just did like a simple Shopify site. But yeah.
Yeah, man. I think you nailed I think you hit the nail on the head there, because when I reached out to you to get you on the podcast is because you shared your story about your brand and why you built F and Good Snacks in the first place. I'm like, this guy's super real. He's vulnerable. He's raw. You're building trust with your community right off the bat. I'm curious, like, who did you learn that from? Is that something that you just like tried and hoped that it would work? Or is that something that you acquired through maybe a mentor or something along those lines?
Yeah. So I follow this guy. His name's like Ryan Moran.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I follow a lot of his stuff, and his stuff is just basically the only content you really need is just like sharing your story, sharing your visions, sharing your beliefs, talking about your business in like a very real and genuine way. So I decided like, why not give it a try? I've always wanted to do it that way. So in the beginning, besides the the Instagram and the email, I talked a lot about it on like my personal Facebook as well. So I had like an audience of like 500 people. It's still, something. And, you never know what might happen. If one person on your Facebook friends sees you talking about it, they can introduce you to someone who can help you. So you never know, like that ripple effect, and, just give it a go. You never know what happens. So.
Yeah, man. I remember when I used to work a corporate job, me and Eric were starting our business up. We did a ton of personal development. And one thing that we were so scared of was getting on camera and just being
100%.
vulnerable and sharing stuff.
100%.
But what we realize is we do it every single day now. It's just a matter of habit, right? You need to break that fear, work through it, and people will be attached. And the people that don't get attached, they're simply just not your followers, but there's going to be so many other people that are going to be with you throughout that journey and throughout the way. And I love how you're starting this so early, because they're just going to follow you a lot more. You're going to get those raving fans. And, when you scale up your brand, I'm sure you have some big things planned, and increase product lines, probably some other things when it comes to the business. You're going to have those loyal followers from the beginning. So I think you're doing a phenomenal job there.
Hey man, you don't even know how scared I was to first like talk about, because I've never done that, right?
Yeah.
Like, first step is always the hardest. Like when I had my Amazon business, I never told anyone my idea. Like, because like, first of all, it's like yoga. Like I don't do yoga. So there's no point in me talking about it. But like it goes back to like the excited part. So if I show how passionate and excited I am about my business, people will see that. And definitely taking the first step of sharing your idea out in the world is a terrifying thing, like, because it makes it so much more real. But after posting that for the first time, like I just got so much more comfortable with it. Like it just comes like second nature to me now. So I'm sure it has with you guys as well.
Totally. Yeah. It's second nature on top of that as well. But like, you'd be surprised when we first did that, the amount of like people that actually reached out, like, man, like, thanks for sharing that, all that kind of stuff. Like that validates, like, man, I should be doing this. I should be doing this more often. And that's kind of got us to where we're at today, in all honesty. And just like you mentioned as well, all it takes is that one person who knows that one person who knows that one person. That can just completely change your life or make that connection. So being vocal and being out there has only made our network stronger. And, as they say in business, you're your net worth is your network, and
your
the amount of
network.
people I've been able to meet and reach and all that kind of stuff has made my life 100 times easier. And I'll be forever grateful for taking that leap of faith. And for anybody that's listening, I encourage it as well. It's just something to get started. Be vulnerable. People like that. Be real.
Yep.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah. Show how excited you are. Show how passionate you are about it. And yeah, that's it. And yeah.
Absolutely. Cool, I remember there was a little aha moment a few weeks back, but entering the entrepreneurship world, eventually, you always had that thought and that vision of, being just in a household of a bunch of other entrepreneurs. Me and Eric were watching the Conor McGregor fight at one of our mentors' house, and we got invited to his place. And we're talking like,
I lost so much money on that bet.
Yeah, but there was like a bunch of entrepreneurs, and like when we were talking to our mentor, he's like, collectively all the people there were worth $1 billion. Put that into perspective. I think that's the power of networking, having good mentors, and just being introduced to people. It can really fast track growth, so to speak. And especially for the younger generation, people like yourself and me and Eric, like we're only 2 years older than you are. So all said and done, if you can do that early on and be vulnerable, it's only going to help you in the future. You know what I mean? Damien, I'm curious to know what your friends think. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, what do your friends think of you building a business and not working? What do your friends think about that?
So me and my friends don't really like talk about like business and stuff. We just like hang out as like friends and the boys. But I think that's like so important why you have like a separate circle, or for like people, like-minded people doing the same thing. Like if you're young or however old you are, just still go out there, meet people that are trying to do the same thing as you, because you guys can just like bond. And like you said, your network is your net worth. But I have like 2 separate circles, like one for like my entrepreneur friends, and then one for my like close friends. But we just like hang out. They sometimes ask me about like business. Sometimes they even like bring me like ideas, but other than that, it's fun, it's chill, nothing really special. But
fair enough.
Yeah. How about you?
Yourself with the right people is definitely huge. I'll take you through a little my journey as well. And I know some of my friends listen to this podcast, so they're gonna be like, "Oh man, that makes sense." But like when I graduated or when I went into BCIT and school and everything like that, we were very consumed with like the amount of time and work that we had to put into school. So right off the bat, I was spending less time with friends, all that kind of stuff. And as soon as I went into corporate and started working a job, completely pushed everybody away. Like I didn't do it right, in all honesty. Like I just cut everybody off. I didn't say anything. I just cut everybody off. Best decision I ever made in my life, in all honesty. But what I quickly realized is like those people were pulling me down while I was trying to go up. So I needed to be around the hustlers. I needed to be around the people that were doing really well in the company, to be able to grow for myself. And once I realized like, oh my God, like I'm this person, I'm growing. Then I started reintroducing those people slowly at a good bite size to make sure that it wasn't too, I wasn't just consuming myself with the parties and all that kind of stuff, how I used to live throughout high school, which is very natural for people.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like fast forward to now, a lot of those people are a lot of those friends that I pushed away are my students. They're building Amazon businesses, and it's because I was vocal with how I was sharing my story, or how we were sharing our story. They saw and they were inspired by us. And if it wasn't taking that leap of faith and walking away and pushing those people away, I don't think they would have been as inspired. On top of that as well, I also think that it only helped me grow as an individual and as a person, because it takes balls to do that, to walk away from everything and just put all your time and effort into a career. And then on top of that as well, quitting a job and doing full-time entrepreneurship was definitely scary as well. So it's good to have that support. And as long as you know how to handle and maintain it, you're not just like, okay, I'm going out every single weekend and partying and drinking and all that kind of stuff, then you can still be very successful.
Yeah.
But it can inhibit a lot of what you do and a lot of what you want to do in a business.
Yeah.
Those people that you're consuming your time with pull you down. So
yeah, I do kind of want to touch on that a little bit, because I want to ask you guys a question. Did you guys ever feel like lonely and like not depressed, but like sad in a way when you were going through that? Because I completely like 100% know like what you were talking about. There was this period of time when I was just like hustle.
Mhm.
I need to push everyone away so I can like focus on myself. But it did get to a point when I was a little like lonely and sad and
Totally.
like, not just like not happy, but I like totally feel what you're saying.
Yeah, man. 100%. 100%. I thought it all the time. FOMO all the time. It's hard for me to look at Instagram because everybody goes out, throws their stories up on there. But it was always bringing it back to like, okay, what do I want to achieve? And if I were to be there, at that party or drinking or hanging out with all these people, what is it? What good is it doing it for me? So you get used to it for sure. But yeah, loneliness was very, very,
Yeah,
very big portion of it.
for sure. Yeah.
That's why I think like, setting goals and having something to look forward to, visioning, making sure that you have a purpose in your life, making sure you're manifesting things into reality. All these little things people take for granted, to be honest with you, but all that kind of stuff will set the tone of how you present yourself in the present moment, right? So that you can eventually achieve. And then you look back when you hit that goal, you're like, fuck, in the moment, I did feel depressed. In the moment, I felt sad that I wasn't with my friends, but I'm like, damn, I just made $1 million. You know what I mean? You look back at things and I think that's what it's all about. And for everyone that's listening, like if you're not doing any kind of goal setting and you're not cognitive of something that you're working forward or working towards, you're doing it wrong. You're simply doing it wrong.
Yeah. Everything good comes with sacrifice, I believe.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
If you don't fail, it's the same thing like going through the pain and like building a business and being frustrated when you can't get an answer, or if something goes wrong in your business, you can't be successful without experiencing that pain. And there's two types of people. There's one person that goes towards that and just handles it, puts it in the dust. And then there's other people that just walk away. It's the people who actually go through that pain and realize it's a learning experience that really can make a difference in their lives and make an impact to the people that are actually around them as well. So
For sure. Yeah. And I think like starting a business is a fast track to self-development. Like
100%.
you can't like do one and not the other. Like if you would have seen me like 3 years ago, dude, I was a completely different person. Like I was like partying, I was like hanging out, like all that stuff. But once I like focused in and sacrificed like that other part, man, like yeah, like self-development like was just crazy.
Yeah. What was your I call them marker moments, but what was that moment that you're kind of like, crap, like I need to settle down here and I need to just commit?
Yeah. So I've always wanted to do something more since I was like a little kid. I was never really good at school, but I knew that I was going to do something more, but I just didn't know what at the time. So it was a crazy moment, but I remember I was at my little apartment basement when I was studying at SFU during my first semester, and a friend actually came over to my place, and he does like some SaaS stuff, and he came over and he just like talked some sense into me. He gave me my first business book I've ever read, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And that was and that was kind of like the turning point. And after I read that book, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go all in on this, see what happens, and never looked back.
I love it, man.
So yeah, it was just a friend just talking some sense into me, telling me that I could do a lot more than what I'm doing right now instead of playing video games, partying, and yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with partying. Like it's completely work hard, play hard, but I wasn't working hard at all at the time. So just to clarify.
Yeah, it's all about balance at the end of the day. But I think I don't know if you've read Emotional Intelligence, but being cognitive and socially aware of your presence and who you are in the moment. Awareness is such a massive component to life, but especially entrepreneurship, right? Because exactly like you said, work hard, play hard. You gotta reward yourself when you do work hard. But if you don't work hard and you're rewarding yourself, it's just gonna create a tumble effect or ripple effect, and it won't work into your advantage. So social awareness is massive. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. When it comes to the brand here, Effing Good Snacks, it looks like you just have one product right now. What's your guys' vision? Like, I'm curious to know what the next 2 years looks like for that.
Yeah. So so for those who are listening, the first product that we're coming out with is mini almond butter chocolate chip cookies. So the whole, like, it's healthier cookies. enhanced with sleep boosting ingredients. The vision of it, like I said before, was like reinventing the most popular choices. So the most popular choices that we have at night are cookies, chips, cereal, candy, cheese puffs, all the unhealthy stuff. So what we're really trying to do is just come out with all of those products, make them healthier, and enhance them with like magnesium and sleep boosting ingredients, and just have a team sweet and team savory kind of section where we have like all your like crave worthy snacks in one place. And that's really like the overarching like vision. An idea that a couple customers pre-orders brought up to me pretty recently was like a healthy CBD snack line. Like CBD is good for you, like relaxes you before bed, and maybe that's in the future as well. But for now, just with cookies, we're hoping to launch beginning of September, and we're going to do that through Amazon. So I think the biggest difference, just going back to an Amazon business versus like a real business, is that on an Amazon business, you just throw a product up there and just, try to optimize for ranking, all that stuff. But for me, for Effing Good Snacks, I'm still going to take sales on Amazon. Don't get me wrong. It's a great sales channel, but I'm going to have the audience. I'm going to bring them over to Amazon. And that's like the biggest difference for me between like these two businesses. So I'm going to launch on Amazon with our audience, and then just trying to get as many reviews as possible and keep turning out products like pretty frequently. And yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, man. I love it. I think Amazon's a great platform to kickstart a business, to get some social traffic, to build some social credibility. But I love how you're also developing a site. I'm literally on the order page right now. I'm gonna pre-order from you.
Yeah, we're only available
only USA. I already tried.
US, yeah.
Oh, what? Is your manufacturer in the United?
Yeah, that's they're in LA.
Okay, we'll have to solve that problem.
Yeah, hopefully soon. That's the goal.
Awesome, man. Well, I love chatting with you. I think you're extremely wise for your age. You're a hustler. I love that you started so early. You've had visions of being an entrepreneur from the get-go. And I love, for everyone listening, that you didn't take the traditional route and go to college. You just jumped into entrepreneurship right away, because it is a massive
college.
As well as e-commerce, man, especially with COVID hitting. I think it's really changed just buying psychology, that you don't need to go to a store to purchase everything nowadays. You can literally purchase everything to your doorstep in a matter of days online. Yeah. So, I'd love for you to give some tips and advice for the younger generation, people like yourself, even people that are younger, that are wanting to get into business, but are maybe getting forced to go to college, or getting forced to take the traditional route and join the corporate ladder.
Yeah. So I think believing in yourself is a very important thing. A lot of the times I think like belief really centralizes everything we do, right? Like the actions we take, the thoughts we have. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned throughout this is just believing in myself and not waiting for outside validation to believe in myself. So have a belief so deep in your idea, in yourself, that other people, it radiates off you, and people see that. So it's not the other way around. And I think just sharing your journey, being vulnerable, and just being comfortable in the uncomfortable is what I suggest.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that. I think belief is every single idea has two different forms. And the first form starts in your mind. Without it not being in your mind at first, and having that belief, having that idea, you will never be able to make that tangible as a real life result. So believing in yourself, believing in your ideas creates vision for yourself. This goes back to goal setting. This goes back to vision building, having purpose, things along these lines. It all stems from what it sounds like is you. It all stems from the heart. So
exactly. Yeah. And I think also another thing that I would give like advice on is like be like product focused, because I think like a lot of the times we focus so much on like advertising metrics like click-through rate, conversion rate, that we kind of neglect like the product. And like marketing is an amplification of good work, and the good work being the product. So if you don't have a good product in the beginning and you don't spend time to listen to what people say, get the feedback, develop a great fucking product that people would buy over and over again, then your marketing is like useless. And if you do have a great product, marketing is just giving that good product to more people. So I think like being more product focused, developing a great product that people would love is another suggestion that I would give people. And yeah,
you can spend as much money as you want on advertising, but if you don't got a good product, it won't sell. I hear that way too many times.
Exactly. And
or
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, or you you don't have the best product, but you can market it correctly. But all said and done, that just probably is going to create a bad customer experience. You're not going to get those repeat customers that you want. It'll be a tumble effect. You'll just get bad social proof and your business will tumble from there. So I think it goes to show that you obviously have an amazing product because of the fact that, one, you're sharing your story and you're being vulnerable and people are already following you. So they're not just getting bought into the product, but the brand. But also, two, you've now spent close to a year in the development stage of getting this product right and getting it out the door. And facilitating feedback from your customers and listening to them, I think is super important.
Definitely. And to touch on like the year thing, well, in the beginning, I wanted to like get this out there ASAP. So I think like I really valued like speed over quality in the beginning, because I just want to get this out there. But the longer it took, the more it kind of like flipped the other way.
Yeah.
And another thing that I want to kind of like go through before we wrap this up is like customer experience. And that's like something that I'd say is like my strong suit, is building that trust, building that relationship with your customer. So in the beginning, when we first started, the way we got like referrals, word of mouth through Instagram, was every single person that followed us on Instagram, I recorded like a video, like a personal video. So like, Brian, if you like followed us on Instagram, be like, yo, Brian, what's up? Like, thank you so much for following us. Like, where this is, our mission is to end unhealthy nighttime snacking. And I'm so excited to be here. So that got people like, wow, like this guy like took the time to leave me a message, and that person referred like 3 other friends. And when we did launch our pre-order, something that we did do is send a handwritten card to every single person that pre-ordered, and we filmed them like a thank you video. So through Shopify, there's this app called Bonjoro, and it's this app that lets you send video messages through Shopify. So if someone orders your product, signs up for your email list, you can record them a video, like same thing. Hey, Brian, thank you so much for pre-ordering. And that got people like to reshare that video over and over again. I got like people replying to the video saying like, this is the best like marketing customer service that I've ever received. So really going in and all in on that point of trust, relationship, and wowing the customer. So I'm not sure you guys like read the book, like Delivering Happiness by like Tony, oh fuck, I forgot his name, but he's the guy who made like Zappos, like the shoe company. And that's kind of where I learned a lot about like business is relationship building, and how you should always wow the customer no matter what, whether that's your product, your customer service, your marketing, whatever it is to create that wow for your customer. And I think that delivering a great customer experience plus a great product and delivering like building on top of that and an audience is really the way to go. Because once you have that audience, raving fan audience, you can launch whatever you want. You can launch wherever you want, whether that's retail, Amazon, Shopify, Kickstarter, whatever it is. As long as you have that trust, then that's everything.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I love that. I'm gonna go follow you on Facebook just so I can get a little thank you. Or
I'm expecting you now.
Yeah, it's good.
I love that though. But like, it's the little things that really go the extra mile at the end of the day. And like you said, product and customer service is, in my opinion, 95% of the business. The rest will follow if you can just focus on those 2 factors.
Yeah, creating a product and creating an experience that people would feel dumb not to buy from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Get into Canada. I'll order a bunch.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll take you up on that.
I'm your perfect target market. All right, man. Damien, I appreciate the time here. Epic podcast. I think a lot of people get inspired by your hustle, your grit, and your entire vision with the brand and the company. I think you're hitting a perfect market that needs to be solved. Again, I'm a perfect example of exactly what needs to be solved.
Exactly. There we go.
Awesome, man.
Cool,
I
man.
appreciate the time.
Yo, guys, thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, I was just gonna say, like, should I go now?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and pimp yourself out, Damien.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so to all those watching, I hope you like got something out of it. If you want to follow our journey, it's just at effing good snacks on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just at effing good Damien. And the website's just www.effinggoodsnacks.com. So if you want to check it out, shameless plug.
Just so that everyone knows, effin is spelled EFFIN, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. I appreciate the time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.